When it comes to medical ethics, there are a lot of grey areas. And when it comes to contraception, a lot of Muslim women do use contraception. Even early Islamic law recognized that procreation wasn't the only desired result of sexual intercourse, that people engage in sexual intercourse because of pure pleasure as well. So all sorts of contraceptive methods were being practiced and also talked about. So if the pill is a form of contraception against undesired pregnancy, I don't see why it shouldn't be allowed. Abortion is also one of those rather grey areas. It's one of those areas where people of different religions often come together to say that, it's about the dignity of life, etc. But actually abortion goes on. And Islamic legal thinking, does specify the permissibility of abortion at certain times and under certain conditions. I think what needs to be stressed is that abortion is not to be taken as something light. And so therefore, if you find yourself in a position or in a situation where you are aborting a child because of your own pure gratification or your own ignorance or your own selfishness, that is a far cry from an abortion that's being carried out because of all sorts of other reasons. And I think that's really where we need to tread very carefully, not to say that abortion is not allowed categorically, but actually to know under what specific conditions abortion is allowed.
About abortion, what you have, and this is also, as we also were speaking about trends and different understandings, there are different views on that. There is one which is the consensus, the absolute consensus among the scholars is the general principle is no to abortion, it's to avoid it. And there is only one situation where it's possible, according to the scholar, is when the life of the mother is at risk. So when you have to choose between the mother and the baby, you choose the mother. And so this is the general understanding. Now, if you come to the Islamic literature on that, you will find that it's not as simple as that, or as, the simplistic answer is no. In fact, you will find that the Muslim scholars, and not now, from the very beginning, and you have very interesting, legal opinions coming from Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, 12th century, saying that in some situation a woman can just deal with this, and also dealing with the time, because what we know in Islam is that the ruh, the spirit, is put in the body after 3 months, in fact. So within this period, it's not really something that it's problematic according to dealing with a human being. Still, the principle was this. And here we have, and we find other opinions coming from scholars. For example, one very interesting example, an important example, because it's dealing with rape. When the Bosnian women were raped during the 10 years ago, you had 2 answers coming from the scholars. One coming from mainly the people from Saudi Arabia saying, no, you cannot abort because it's, again, this kid is not yours. So it's given to you. Of course, the situation was sad, but you have to accept it. And other scholars saying, no, you can't do it. You can abort in this situation because it was a forced thing. So you are. And in fact, you understand that when you know that your kid is going to be mentally sick, for example, or have any kind of problem, you can deal with this and you can ask the scholars. So here there is something which is a specific approach to an individual approach for every single situation. And this is the real meaning of having fatawa, legal opinion, because here we have to take into account the situation and to come with a specific answer.
Yes, from the legal point of view, abortion could be contemplated, could be improved or accepted, approved or accepted for certain valid reason. But that permission is influenced by the stage of the pregnancy. Say, for instance, if the pregnancy is a month old, or less than 40 days. So the degree of violating the law in that situation will be much less. But if the pregnancy more than 40 days and less than 17 weeks, which is 4 months, still there are certain school of Muslim legal thinking to say it is, could be contemplated, could be permitted for certain reason. Say, for instance, if, the married couple newly employed and they are expecting to be moved to some other position, or they are anticipating bigger housing, or they have several children and the health of the mother is not that, she is not very energetic to look after more children and so on. These are the type of reason which can make it possible for her to have abortion if it is less than 17 weeks. But if it reaches 17 weeks or over, that is totally forbidden unless the life of the mother is threatened. Say, for instance, if she continues with the pregnancy, whether she is diabetic or suffering from high blood pressure or one way or the other of illness and so on, and the continuity of the pregnancy may undermine her life, then also it is permissible.